Yo, I don't want to be the guy that jinxes Matt Harvey, but is the Dark Knight officially back? Since the All-Star break, he is not allowed a single earned run, so make sure you guys watch the entire video. You do not want to miss that. Also, there might have been the catch of the year in the Jays game, so stick around for that as well. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. And also, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order, even if you're going to minor league games. Now, this is my second time recording this video because my microphone apparently just decided to unplug itself and I wasn't recording the entire time. So 20 minutes just down the drain. So I'm going to try and get this done as quickly as I possibly can. We're going to go ahead and bring up the only walk-off from yesterday. That's why I'm wearing the Mariners hat today. Ty France, along with a couple other buddies, I should just say Mitch Haniger, they put the Mariners out in front. He hits a home run in the third inning and then goes 432 in the fifth. Unfortunately, though, Aramis Garcia, he ties it up, and Mitch Haniger, he was just far too scary for Oakland to handle yesterday because they didn't even want to pitch to him. Jarred Kelenic, he scores on a wild pitch. Now, I do want to say that Jarred Kelenic, that was a good moment for him, but he's 11 for 111. That is a .099 batting average. He's going to have to pick up the pace, otherwise he might get sent down again. But I found a pretty cool clip of Mitch Haniger post-game talking about how he broke his back carrying the Seattle Mariners.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Either way, the Mariners are now just 2.5 games back of the A's for second place in that division. I believe that they're actually first place for a wild card spot. Let's talk about two almost no-hitters. First and foremost, Patrick Sandoval was electric yesterday for the Angels. You have Justin Upton and Jose Iglesias putting the Halos up 2-0, and that was it for scoring for quite some time because Barrios, he goes 7 innings, does not allow a single earned run. Yes, both of the runs that he did allow were unearned, and Patrick Sandoval strikes out 13 in route to going 8 1/3 no-hit innings before Mr. Brent Roker, he breaks up the no-hitter, and then Josh Donaldson, he spoils the complete game shutout. I was really upset that this happened. Either way, Raisel Iglesias, he was on top of his game, and he secures his 21st save of the year. So the Angels, they win 2-1. Moving on over to another AL West team that almost threw a no-hitter. We have the Astros facing off against the Rangers in Houston. They put up 3 different runs on a bases-loaded walk and 2 different sacrifice flies. Carlos Correa, he shows off his rocket of an arm in the 5th inning, and then Framber Valdez goes 6 shutout, no-hit innings, but he has to get taken out. He had 99 pitches as he walked 6 different Rangers hitters. Yordan Alvarez, he puts the cherry on top, 18 home runs and 63 RBIs on the season already. The bullpen, unfortunately, they do allow a hit and a run. 8 of the last 9 outs were all via the strikeout, so their bullpen was dominant yesterday. Houston is now on a 2-game winning streak. Now, I want to mention that umpires, they were horrible across the league yesterday, but the biggest example might have been in this Marlins versus Padres game. So you have Tatis hitting homer number 30 in just 82 games. You should not be allowed to do that. It should be physically impossible, especially for a middle infielder. Ryan Weathers, the starting pitcher for the Padres, he goes yard and then throws 4 shutout innings with 4 strikeouts, but they really like to limit the damage so he doesn't throw. Oh my God, Cesar Hernandez just hit another leadoff home run. Talk about that in tomorrow's recap. Anyways, let's get back to the Marlins versus the Padres. Braxton Garrett, he was able to settle down and have 10 strikeouts in 7 innings, only those 2 earned runs, and he was rewarded by his effort with a W from Jesus Aguilar. And Starling Marte, this grab over in left field in the 8th, he makes sure that no more runs are allowed to score for the San Diego Padres, and Yimi Garcia secures his 15th save of the year. In San Francisco, they keep on losing, so the Padres actually gain a game. They are now 4.5 games back of first place. Now, speaking of the Giants, Kevin Gausman unfortunately proved that he was human yesterday. Pittsburgh, they go up 3-1 in the 3rd inning, and then Gregory Polanco goes 430 feet in the 5th. Kevin Newman, he tacks on 2 more RBIs for Will Crowe, who goes 5 1/3 innings with 9 strikeouts. Good for him. They picked him up in that Josh Bell trade over the offseason. The Pirates end up with 10 runs, and they have back-to-back wins against the Giants. So the Padres, so I think I misspoke earlier. The Padres did not gain a game because they lost against the Marlins. The Dodgers, however, did. This was a very boring game, but Austin Barnes, he hits a home run in the 2nd inning off Kyle Freeland, and that was all of the offense for the rest of the game for both teams. Tony Gonsolin goes 5 1/3 shutout innings with 2 hits on 7 strikeouts. Kyle Freeland, this strikeout in the 5th, this really bothers Cody Bellinger, which to me was a lot of fun because it reminded me of the Yankees fan, that meme, that gif where he is just holding his thumb down for, I don't know, 10 to 15 seconds. Kenley Jansen, he comes in and strikes out CJ Cron for the final out of the game. He has 22 saves, and the Dodgers, they gain a game on the Giants because San Francisco has lost back-to-back games. The Dodgers win yesterday, and I just want to mention that Tony Gonsolin has a combined 2.54 ERA in his first 121 innings pitched. That's really good. If you are a Phillies fan, take both of your index fingers and jam them into your ear holes because you do not want to listen to the recap from this Braves-Phillies game. Freddie Freeman has essentially been Tony Gwynn with power as of late. Then Abraham Almonte and Dansby Swanson, they both combine to make it 6-0 before the 4th inning. Jock Peterson drives in an RBI right before Ozzie Albies hits a 2 or 3 run home run off a righty. I can't remember what it was, but he now has 16 home runs and 66 RBIs. Austin Riley, he does his thing as well. 16 home runs on the year, and Jock Peterson caps the scoring with a 3-run tater. Freddie Freeman is hitting .426 in the month of July, and I also want to say that he went 35 consecutive plate appearances without swinging and missing. How on earth is that humanly possible? Like I mentioned, the catch of the year happened in yesterday's Jays versus Mets game. George Springer and Teoscar Hernandez, they both hit home runs in the 3rd inning, but George Springer was not done just yet. It was one of the better games George Springer has ever played because he did it on defense as well. In my opinion, this is the catch of the year. He legit turns into Superman for 2 seconds. Marcus Semien hits homer number 24, and Taijuan Walker, he has been torched for 11 earned runs in 4 innings after the All-Star break, so maybe he's getting exposed. I'm not really too sure. Bo Bichette drives onto the 2nd deck, and then Teoscar Hernandez hits the 2nd home run of the day. He's now up to 15, and Toronto has one of the deepest lineups that I've ever seen in my lifetime. So if you're a little bit older, let me know in the comment section down below. Between the Astros and the Red Sox and the Jays this year, is there any team that you can think of that has a lineup that is just as good or just as deep? A lot of you guys might point to a few Yankees teams from the past. Now, speaking of the Yankees, they beat the Red Sox yesterday, which is a good thing. Now, the game started off a little bit rough for New York as Kike Hernandez scores on a Little League home run. Then you have Plawecki and Devers giving Nathan Eovaldi a 3-0 cushion, and Taillon, he has been solid against Boston this year. 7 innings, only 1 earned run. I think he gave up a few more than that, but only one of them was his fault. Nathan almost goes 8 innings with 8 strikeouts and 2 earned runs. Unfortunately, though, Adam Ottavino can't hold it against his former team, and Chapman, he almost blows it just like Ottavino, but they win the game and they improve to 8 games back of the Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays, because with this win yesterday against Cleveland, the Rays are tied back in 1st place and they get win number 60 on the season. Choi, he has a home run in back-to-back games. Brett Phillips and Austin Meadows, they both hit home runs. And then later on in the game, Choi and Meadows combined to make it 8 runs. Tampa Bay, like I mentioned, they get their 60th win of the year. They're back in 1st place, and rumors are swirling because the Cleveland baseball team, they haven't been playing well as of late. They're about to get swept by the Rays if we don't win today's game, and a lot of people are saying that J-Ram is going to be on the chopping block. I will stop being a Cleveland fan if that happens. He has a team-friendly contract going into 2022 and 2023. We haven't called up Nolan Jones or Tyler Freeman. Shane Bieber and Aaron Savali haven't pitched in a month. If you trade Jose Ramirez, a switch-hitting MVP candidate, because you're not calling up your top prospects and your best pitchers are injured, you're stupid. Also, not only would you be losing a superstar player, you'd be losing 99.9% of your fan base. So don't do that, especially when you're changing names and a lot of people are upset about that. Do not give them another reason to be upset. Let me just say that. So there have been a ton of Game of the Year candidates, and in my opinion, the Royals versus the Tigers from yesterday might be entering that conversation. Detroit, they go up 2-0 on 2 sacrifice flies, and then out of nowhere, Jeimer Candelario hits a 3-run, 435-foot bomb in the 3rd inning, and Casey Mize, he was really good until the 5th inning when Nicky Lopez singles in the 1st run for Kansas City, and Salvador Perez, he hits a 452-foot pimp job, 3 runs on 1 swing, and Carlos Santana now is up to 55 RBIs and 17 home runs after this 3-run home run. And then Hanser Alberto drives in a couple RBIs on this triple, but then guess what happens? Akil, the bad man, Why is it not turned around? The bad man Badu hits this baseball an estimated 617 feet. I am talking about StatCast, and StatCast is never wrong. Okay, it was 410 feet, but I love the fact that he pimped it. He is 1 home run away from joining the 10 home run and 10 stolen base club. Wade Davis, he comes in and strikes out Candelario, so the Royals, they win 9-8. The Diamondbacks versus the Cubs. This game was all Cubs through 4 innings, as Dalton Varsho later comes in huge for the Diamondbacks with a 420-foot moonshot. He ties it up in the 5th as Merrill Kelly, he was able to settle down 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. Varsho delivers again later on in the 7th, and as Drupal Cabrera, he is activated from the IL and he delivers 2 RBIs right before Andy Young, Mr. Andrew, hits a 3-run opposite field home run, and both teams, in my opinion, should be sellers in the next few weeks, so look for a couple bangers to be happening, whether it's Eduardo Escobar or Anthony Rizzo or Javier Baez or Chris Bryant or Craig Kimbrell, who knows, maybe even Ketel Marte, but that's probably not going to happen because I think he's on the IL. The Brewers versus the White Sox. Have Colton Wong going lefty-lefty off Carlos Rodon. This was a pretty fun matchup because you have Rodon versus Corbin Burns. They were both All-Stars. They could have both started the All-Star games for both teams. You have Tyrone Taylor hitting home run number 9, and Rodon allowed 4 runs, even though 2 of them were earned, so 2 of those were his fault. Burns was fantastic, going 6 innings, only allowing 1 earned run on 6 strikeouts, and Rowdy Tellez hits his first home run as a Brewer, and then follows it up with his second. Both of these home runs combined traveled 820 feet, so that's a lot of pop in that swing from Rowdy. Anytime we talk about the Brewers, I want to talk about the Reds, the Cubs, or the Cardinals because they're all competing for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place, and we can talk about 2 of those teams because the Reds faced off against the Cardinals as Jesse Winker drives in 2 RBIs on this double, and then his teammate Joey Votto is having a comeback season, 13 home runs and an almost 115 OPS plus, and Luis Castillo has been a monster over the last 2 months. He had a 1.71 ERA in June in the same amount of innings, and then in July, in the same amount of innings, he had the same ERA with 1 more strikeout, so he has been the definition of consistency. 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, and saved by Shogo Akiyama with this Spider-Man grab over in center field. Jesse Winker hits a 2-run home run off a lefty, and Doolittle escapes a jam in the 8th as Heath Hembry, he delivers with his 8th save later on in the game, and the Reds have beat the Cardinals 6 consecutive times. And last but certainly not least, I mentioned this in the intro, the Dark Knight has officially returned. Trey Mancini hits a home run in the 1st inning, and Josh Harris protects the hot corner in the 4th, but you can't protect this one. Ryan Mountcastle hits one over everyone as the Dark Knight, Matt Harvey, goes 6 shutout innings on 1 base hit against a really good Nationals lineup. You have Hayes, Severino, and Franco making it 5-0. Now, Juan Soto and Trey Turner, they take advantage. As soon as Matt Harvey was taken out the game, they bring it to within a 2-run deficit, but Dylan Tate, he closes it. And like I mentioned, Matt Harvey has not allowed a single earned run after the All-Star break. Now, I'm not saying he's going to continue this, but maybe I got ahead of myself by saying he needs to hang it up because he has had 2 really good performances back-to-back. I tip my cap to you, sir. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. We are on the road to 350,000 subs. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek and stay safe out there. Enjoy this day in MLB history.
And Hamels with a 3-2 pitch. Swing and a high fly ball, deep center field. Herrera back on the track, and did he make the catch? He fell down, and he's got it. He's got it. Odubel Herrera